Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of He Say, She Say.
Hello, everybody. I am Tiana.
And I'm Mark. And this week we're gonna do pretty much how we feel. We're gonna be a little bit fluid this week. And we do have a topic, but most pressing matters, we like to get to them first. We have a recurring guest on our show, Mr. John John.
How is everyone?
And he has an announcement for y'all. The same announcement.
Last week I had scheduled a homeless feeding that had to be rescheduled due to the heat. It was extremely hot last Saturday, so I made the executive decision to date the event to this Saturday, same time, same place, Franklin Park, 3 p.m.
And last week, did you get all the commitments that you needed to get everything that you needed for as far as supplies?
I actually got more than I needed, so I'm expecting a very, very big turnout this weekend. A very big turnout.
As far as supplies or as far as
Supplies,
volunteers?
people, everything I need. I think we'll have an abundance of what we need for this weekend.
Okay, well, you guys heard it. Show up, show out. Most of y'all are pretty damn selfish anyway, so it's a good chance for you to get out there and do something for somebody other than yourselves. Me, I'll be at work. Anyway, Tiana.
Yes, Mark.
Tiana this week started an interesting discussion. Its genesis came about through a picture that went viral. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
A young lady. What's her name?
I don't know her name. I don't think her. I don't know
Her name doesn't matter at this point. You
her
saw her,
name.
right?
And I believe she was.
Her name is Paris Monroe. Thanks, D.
Her name is Paris.
Paris Monroe, and she teaches somebody at somebody's school,
Mm-hmm.
right? And all the little boys who already struggle with learning,
already have distractions.
they already got, they can't sit still. They got this monster of a teacher. What does she teach?
It's in the fourth grade.
It's a contained classroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's right about the time of awakening too, boy.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. I kind of lost my train of thought. But apparently she's something to look at, and her people were judging her for her attire. And that sparked the debate on workplace etiquette. And from there, I'm going to turn it over to Tiana.
I mean, workplace etiquette in my mind isn't just about your attire. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about your communication. It's about a lot of things.
But attire is important.
Attire is very important. And I don't believe, even in this day of age, that people still don't know better or what is believed to be workplace attire.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Because you've heard me say many a time, and you're going to continue to hear me say, that things are different for men and women. And years ago, I used to work in retail at Baker's Shoe Store. I used to be Al Bundy. I used to sell women's shoes. And our boss would tell us that you cannot sufficiently define workplace attire for a woman, business attire for a woman. And it's true. You can't. For a guy, it's pretty straightforward, right? Slacks, shirt, maybe plus or minus a tie.
My thing on that is,
why would you not agree with it?
If she wasn't so shapely, would it be an issue?
It wouldn't be a problem.
It's only because she's shapely and she's pretty and she got a good weave put in, so that's the only reason why she's getting all the attention.
That's a good reason, though.
It's a very good reason.
Is there ever need at work to wear form-fitting clothes? Because I think that's the biggest issue for me, is that everything she probably wears is form-fitting, and when you wear form-fitting clothes, it's gonna always get a reaction.
But she doesn't look exactly small. So what do you want? I mean, normally I would side with you.
I don't see anything. I don't think it's a major issue, but I can understand where people would have the issue.
I could see where they would have the issue.
She's a school teacher. First of all, we already have an image in our minds on what school teachers are supposed to look like. They definitely don't look like now how they look now is not what they looked like when we were younger. I don't remember having an attractive teacher that attractive or pretty back then.
Right. So she's being punished for being pretty.
Probably. She probably.
And what is her punishment? She just went viral.
That's just ridicule. That's her only punishment.
So has
It's nothing
anything
major.
happened
I
to
would
her?
hope. I would hope it doesn't cause her any issues as far as her job or anything like that. But certain jobs, well, there have been stories where women have lost their jobs because they were a distraction to their clothes in the office.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
who's to say that her form-fitting clothes won't be a distraction?
It is a distraction to them fourth grade boys.
That's a
But they're little boys. Anything can distract them. So how is she going to subvert herself?
I don't think fourth grade boys are the distraction.
When you were a fourth grade boy, when you were a fourth grade boy,
did it? Paying attention. Their mamas
I'm
are paying
asking
attention.
you, when you were a fourth grade boy, did you struggle with stuff like that?
Fourth grade boys and not paying really. Y'all was looking at the teachers and y'all was
even if you don't know what you're looking at, you looking
at fourth grade.
You know you like it. If at that age, I mean, if you already know at that age you like girls, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You may not, and nowadays they know a whole lot.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, I mean nowadays
they know way more than.
You gotta blame the internet though.
Had it not been for
internet, would we even know who she is?
No, but we know now, and I'm gonna tell you what.
I mean,
I don't doubt she won't be teaching for that long.
Really?
She'll probably be doing something else.
I mean, the way the internet works, once you go viral, you kind of gotta build off that steam.
That's if you want it though. She probably just wants to be a teacher and.
I mean, but if something else is gonna offer her something, reality show or something. I mean, I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, that's true.
I don't know that a reality show is in the making because we don't know what her personality is like. But anything,
right?
Any other type of avenue, it might just open up to it where she can be herself. Because obviously that's the way she wants to comport herself, and I don't see a whole lot wrong with it. All I saw was 3 pictures though.
Mm-hmm.
The same 3 side by side. Is that what everybody else saw?
The tight skirt. And
I only saw the one picture.
She had the jeans and
the jeans and like some jersey,
collar shirt on.
But anyway, if we can take this back to the workplace etiquette thing, dressing in workplace, because I the reason why I find this topic interesting as far as workplace etiquette is because again I'm gonna make the delineation between men and women, and this is he say she say, right? So I think a lot of the questions that we have as far as workplace etiquette go are going to be different, right?
Right.
So for example, you wanted to talk about assertiveness in the workplace. And D, can we put up the number just so people can call in and give us their input on this topic? Workplace, as far as being assertive in the workplace, oftentimes it's viewed differently between a man and a woman.
Absolutely.
So can you expand on that? Because you're the one that brought that up.
Women are considered bitches and men are assholes. And I've worked for both. I've worked for, first of all, I believe there's a complete difference between being a bitch or an asshole and being assertive. And to me, it's about delivery.
It can't, yeah, of course. I mean, but I don't, it's interesting that you say that because I believe women get that title. I don't think men get that title. Oh, men get
assholes. Stop it.
I don't think they do.
Stop it.
I think it's viewed, I think it's accepted more from a male.
No, it's not. Because you can't.
If you're being assertive?
And don't be short. Don't be short. Because if you're short, it's even worse. There's nothing worse than that little midget man.
We might need to play this scenario out. Because I do understand women who are put in positions where they need to be in charge, right? Or to lead. They get stuck with that label when being assertive. Is that what you're talking about, or just in general?
I think in general.
Well, then it's totally different in general,
men and women. Anything between a man and a woman, you're going to always see the difference.
Yes,
a manager is a
because
manager.
We are different.
A manager is a manager, though.
Yeah, okay.
The bottom line, the objective is to make sure that your employees are abiding by or following the rules or protocols or whatever. That's your main objective. All that extraness, the attitude, the feelings, and the emotion, that's what determines whether or not you're a bitch or an asshole.
Right, but you said we weren't talking about managers.
What?
I just asked you. I said if women are put in positions to lead, so that's a manager. Is that correct?
Or man, when men are put in positions to lead.
Okay, but I think men are allowed when leading. They're given more leeway. Is that a wrong assumption? I think it's viewed.
I think it depends on what level.
I think a man can be an asshole and still be deemed a good boss.
So
If a woman does that,
so we
she gets
accept
that
men
label.
for being assholes, basically. Men, they get a pass for being for having bitch tendencies or being an asshole. Men get a pass for that, but women don't.
History says yes. Am I giving them a pass? No. I'm not saying I agree with it on this thing, on this particular thing. But I know that anytime a woman asserts herself in a leadership way, and women have this need to prove themselves.
Not only that, it's not just that.
Okay, hold on. We got a phone call. Good evening.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, who is this?
Tiana, hi. This is Jazz.
Oh, Jazz, what's going on?
Hello.
Jazz, you got something?
Okay. Yes, I do have something to say.
Go ahead.
I had to stop watching a call, but I think in the workplace there's often a giant disparity between men and women when it comes to their attitude, when it comes to attire. There are a bunch of things that are acceptable when it comes to men that just if a woman does the same thing, we're blackballed and bad mouthed, and it's not fair. I understand, and I already know you're going to say this is a man's world and all that other stuff, but it's not fair. A man can get paid more to do the same exact job.
Or do less. I'm sorry, or do less.
Yes, to do the same job or less, and they get paid more just because they're a man. We're always constantly in a war zone to try and get equal pay, equal treatment, and all these things.
I'm sorry, did you say war zone?
Yes, it is a war zone.
Okay, all right, okay, I'm sorry. I've never served. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Try being the black man.
I mean,
then.
I've never served either, but that's what I'm going to compare it to.
Okay. I agree, and I was not gonna say it's a man's world because of that. I know that there's a double standard as far as with the assertive part for males, for sure. In leadership. Now, if we're talking in general, I don't know because my experiences are different. But we'll continue this discussion. But thank you for calling, and please call back if you got more you want to say tonight.
Thank you, Jazz.
Because it's the first time I ever heard your voice. You sound nicer than you come across on the internet too. All right, have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, bye.
So look, I agree. I was actually trying to I wasn't trying to put. I guess I got this. I've boxed myself into this corner as a caveman, but I know that women have an uphill battle to fight and a fight for respect when they're in positions of leadership. That's the point I was trying to make. So I don't think it's viewed the same because men have long held those positions. That's all I was saying. So that they get the benefit of the doubt, and they will say he's being strong or being a good leader, and the woman will be viewed as a word that I choose not to use unless I'm singing rap lyrics.
And not only that, I think men have a hard time listening to a woman. I mean, you're certainly not. Yeah, I know. I believe most of us do. Yeah, I think all of you do.
I think. Well, I can't speak for everybody.
I think all men have.
Okay, yeah, we do, and I think women have to navigate that minefield in the workplace as well. I think we have a hard time doesn't mean we can't, because ultimately you have to do your job, right?
Or men
so
can just
all in
how be comfortable with and accept the fact that there is a woman in a position to lead.
They really don't have a choice.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course you don't have a choice, but that don't mean you actually deal with it. That's the reason why we're having this discussion, because there are men that still struggle with having a woman or female supervisor.
I'm certain there is. I'm certain there are plenty, but also going back to a point I made earlier, because there's a duality to this. So I know that women struggle in the workplace, right? Like I just said, when in positions of leadership, especially when having to deal with men, especially when having to deal with other women, because women can be catty. So in order to get to a certain place, they have to take on somewhat of a masculine persona within the workplace, right? That gets difficult to deal with for a lot of guys. And that's where the B comes from.
What makes it masculine? So when she has to
What makes it masculine?
exercise her authority, because
Uh-huh.
you're basically, if a woman has to get masculine, that means you're pretty much she has to now exercise her authority. She has to now remind you or prove to a point why she's in the position that she's in.
Right.
And a lot of times that doesn't happen until someone challenges her.
I
And a man will challenge your authority.
Okay, well,
And it's not because she's wrong, it's because he just doesn't want to be told what to do.
probably doesn't want, he doesn't want to be told what to do, and probably even less so by a woman.
Right.
But it's all in how you communicate.
I agree with that.
Now the hard thing, because I don't like a hard woman. So
I don't like a hard woman or a hard man.
She has to navigate that line. She has to walk that line to be stern and still be effeminate. Once you lose your femininity with me, I'm not really, I'm gonna do what I
For
wanna
me,
do,
it's both. I mean, I go to work. I don't need you to be hard, stern, or any of that.
Okay, but listen, let me ask you a question. If you were gonna do, let's say you actually were handy, right? And you were gonna do work at my house. Say you were gonna paint my room, and I came behind you every corner and said, "Get this here, do this here. You missed this
That's
joint. Do this."
micromanaging.
That'd be micromanaging, right?
Mhm.
But if I did that, you think you'd do a better job or a worse job for me?
It'll be a worse job.
How would it be a worse job? You have no choice but to do a better job. I've watched you the whole time do it.
No, because at some point when you micromanage people, they don't care. They wait for you to come in and tell them what to do.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you is, if the harder I am on you, am I gonna get a better job out of you? You just won't like me.
That don't mean you're gonna get a better job.
And I'm not interested.
That don't mean you're gonna get a better job.
Okay, so
I've seen it. I hear your point, but that don't, just because you're riding me, just because you're in my face, that doesn't mean
I don't
listen.
I'm not saying.
You asked me a question.
I'm not saying I agree with that management style
right.
at all, because I wouldn't respond well to it. But most people will end up doing a better job.
Most people do not.
They won't. What they won't be able to do is
do not. Sorry.
What they won't be able to do is handle it long term. But if you're concerned, they'll leave. But if your concern is to keep your job at the current time, you're gonna do a damn good job.
Not always.
Okay. Well, I mean, what is always?
Not always.
You know anything that's always?
I mean, no, you're asking me a question. That was my response. But you're asking me a yes or no question. I'm telling you, not always. No, just because you ride somebody's back.
Hold on. I asked you a yes or no question, and you threw it not always?
Not always.
Where is that? Does that fall in the middle?
Yes and no.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. Another part of workplace etiquette that you would like to discuss, which is,
I also want to talk about as far as attire. Let's go back to attire for a second.
Is it okay to guys to wear slacks with no underwear? Shirt tucked in.
Men wear slacks with no underwear?
I'm just asking.
I didn't know men did that.
We used to do that back when I worked at Baker's on the sales floor. Especially around the 1st and 15th.
Oh my God. So when you sit down, you can see the print through your pants?
Hey, listen, man.
Oh my goodness.
Baker's, I used to work at the one in
Did you get commission because of that?
Did I get what?
Did you get
different? A whole different type of commission. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
In the summer, the girls will come in there and they pull you to the side and be like, "Look, man, I'm just trying to get this. How much these shoes cost? I know you can sell them out the back."
So I thought only women do that. So men also dress in a particular way to get attention or something more at work?
Good evening.
Yo, what's up, Mark?
What's
that? I'm good.
What's up, Danny? What's going on?
Hey, Danny.
You ain't called back since the first show. Is the first show?
Yeah, I know. I just want to touch on something because you guys have a very good valid points on a lot of things, and we have to work with women that's in authority positions and see how bitchy they can get, but see also that leadership styles are sometimes a lot better than a lot of my male counterparts, and even myself, and it's a touch and go subject when you're dealing with that situation,
right?
Because women have a lot of things to prove in the workforce.
Exactly.
And especially when I was active duty and have to actually see what a lot of women have to go through and the ridicule they have to go through and the scrutiny they have to go through. It's definitely hard. hell, I was even scrutinized a couple of people myself, but come to find out, they turned out to be hell of a leaders. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of men don't like it, but there are some out there that enjoy working with women
Right.
and working for women.
Right.
Because you got to also think, women are actually going to actually take care of their people better than their male counterparts. Because guys, we assholes. We just gonna say what we want to say and get the job done and move on with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you almost 100% on that, because I do know a lot of when you work with a woman, and it becomes very much relational. So if you
Yeah.
have a relationship with her, you're good. It may take some time to forge it, but they'll consider you. And guys, obviously everything in life is relationship, so I shouldn't just relate it to women. But if it comes down to the bottom line, they might just, My thing
Now,
is, if you
That might just work.
with a guy,
Mhm.
you might fall out of favor because at some point
It's
he
not
could
a
be an
relationship
asshole.
established.
Say what?
Because a relationship hasn't been established.
No. It's just the bottom line. When
yeah.
it comes to the bottom
Also,
line.
okay, I'm gonna give you one prime example, then I'm gonna let you guys go.
Okay.
Prime example. All right, I'm gonna say it again. Women in the military, women in going to war, fighting with guys, combat arms, infantry, that whole rah-rah bullshit. I ain't fuck all that. I ain't doing that. But anyway, doing all that right there, there's a big discrepancy. Everybody hates that because it's a male dominant job.
Right.
But you have women that want to do it, and these women look butch.
Right.
I'm talking about they're knocking dude out.
Right.
So that right there is a prime example of that workforce tension right there. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the most prime examples. That's the only example I can really give that could give everybody a clear picture of what you guys are talking.
That because they're in a male-dominated field and they come across as butch, people don't like them.
No, they come across as bitchy, come across as bossy, come across as, oh, you're not supposed to be here. If we say that they're not supposed to be there, we don't need you here. And it's very difficult. I've seen it firsthand with, how stuff goes now. I've seen it firsthand.
Right.
And it is bad. It's really, really bad.
I can only imagine in a male-dominated field, and for them to get to certain levels, the stuff they might have had to go through. So
Women ain't supposed to be fighting you.
what?
Nothing.
What's
you
that?
say?
Nothing.
No, no. Go ahead, say it real quick.
No.
She said women aren't supposed to be fighting in the war, Danny.
You know what? That's another topic that we could do.
Yeah, but that's just
Later
my
on,
opinion,
Because
though.
I will fire you.
I'm pretty
up
sure
on that,
there's
but I'm not gonna
millions
do
of
that.
women who would
They
disagree.
They recently had got the privilege to fight on the front lines. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're in infantry roles. They're doing the infantry thing. That 3 women just graduated from Special Forces and Rangers school. This was like 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
Right. Because there are certain. Well, we could speak on that later. You're right. That is a
Yeah,
whole
we'll
other
speak on
show.
that later.
But thanks for calling, D.
All right,
All right, no problem.
Danny.
All right.
All right.
Where we're gonna go from there might be a sharp turn left, but I want to, because we do have several topics that we want to talk about as far as this workplace etiquette thing. So the next destination was which, Tiana?
Are we just gonna jump right over to?
Wow, you got more you want to say?
No, I mean we.
Yeah,
can
let's jump right over. Let's
to,
jump. Let's jump. Because I'll say this. I got a final thought on.
Oh, we got a call.
Good evening, caller.
Hey.
Hi, this is Jazz again.
Okay.
I heard about a prime example
Okay.
about exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
I don't know if you guys watched the O.J. Simpson Made in America story.
I did.
Did you guys watch that?
I watched all of
Okay.
it twice.
Here we go. We have this woman who was working hard trying to prosecute this case. Why did her dress come up in the news? Why did her hair come up in the news? Do you know anything about Johnny Kaplan's haircut?
I know.
Was that ever addressed?
I know that his haircut probably hadn't changed in 20 years.
Okay, but it was never addressed. She got slandered in the news, called a bad mother. Everything that they talked
Well,
about in the news had nothing to do with her job and nothing to do with the case. But her attire was the focus and a
well,
focal point.
well,
Why?
she was a bad mother, but no, she was. I mean, her daughter said stuff about her during the trial. But yeah, I get that happens all the time, and that's a great example. Like for currently, Hillary Clinton is running for president, and a lot of the stuff that they bring up for her makes no sense. Now, I do not care for Hillary Clinton, and as far as how I'm gonna vote, I don't know if it's smart enough for me to just vote for the lesser of two evils or two equal evils or whatever. But I never understood the argument about Bill Clinton cheating on her, which never that came up during this election cycle. Like that's her fault.
Exactly.
Like why would she ever
Right.
have to defend that? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
And we know these things go on. I mean, like we know there's double standards and there's barriers to climb if you are of a different sex and different race and different all these type of things. And there's gonna be
But
new.
none of those things.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But none of those things will make me less competent in my job. So why is that even an issue? I don't understand.
Just a piece of diversion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but they're just trying to. They were trying to disparage Marsha Clark because America. Well, this is the example that you chose. America had a thing for OJ at some point. It was good. It was just that trial was so sensationalized, and that time that was just something to talk about, And she was a bit of and she was called to be a lot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and she was. I
She
listened to the whole
was,
thing.
but and then the defense attorney said a lot worse things than Marsha Clark did, but they didn't say any of those things. They weren't manipulative or anything. They were just a good. And once again, there were no women on their defense, but they were just good at their job. They didn't get caught. Any of those names, they didn't get dragged through the mud.
No, they didn't. They didn't. And life isn't
because
fair.
they were men.
I know it. Hey, I know life isn't fair, man. It sucks. There's a beer commercial out, that is really bad, and I'm not gonna mention it. So anyway, thank you, Jazz. Call back if you have any more examples, because two times
That's
two.
the last time you guys get from me tonight.
No. For some reason, I'm feeling like 2 times isn't gonna be enough for me. I might need one more.
One more.
Yeah, I might.
I'll see if I can get one out. You guys are doing a great job, by the way. I enjoy watching you and hearing your opposing viewpoints. I don't agree with them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you,
But
Jazz.
I appreciate the commentary.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Hello,
Hey, it's Jenna.
Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
D Jenna.
Hello.
D Jenna.
What'd you say, Mark?
D Jenna.
The Jenna.
Okay. What's up, Jenna?
So I've been watching y'all, and so in the position that I have, I'm the first woman of color that they've ever had,
Mm-hmm.
the youngest person they ever had,
Mm-hmm.
and I am referred to as a B. Why?
Well,
I
actually,
do my job.
okay. And you know what? That's a shame because they shouldn't do
But
that.
look, I'm gonna finish it off.
Okay.
I go to work every day,
Mm-hmm.
dressed to the nine, hair laid, makeup on, dressed because I don't want any distractions. Teeth white,
Mm-hmm.
perfume right. I don't want any distractions for what I'm trying to get across to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're all cool, but I also come in super sweet. I have taken because I know what I'm walking into. They're expecting an angry black woman. You're not going to get that. I'm going to kill you with kindness. And so it took me a while, but they're like, she's for real. She's really nice. And so it took all of that, the full physical package, the personality, to gain the respect. Why it took so long? I mean, that took all of that extra work compared to someone else. I don't know. That's not my color, but that's what I had to do.
Well, you weren't born with that equity.
So, Jenna, I want to ask you this. Are you referred to that by both, by every race? Is it both black and white that's calling you a bitch and too assertive?
No, it's people of color.
People of color.
And that's the funny part. I'm
yeah,
mixed.
yeah.
Mixed,
So I'm
mixed.
mixing. So my thing is, I come in, I'm young, I have my master's degree, I have 11 years experience, but I have to come in and earn everything. And that's okay because I've been doing it for a long, long time, and I'm cool with that. And Bob knows me, I'm cool.
So,
But
Hold on.
and
Hold on. You want me to vouch for that?
well, because
Yes,
the reason
please.
why
Okay. All right. Go
I'm
ahead.
asking a little bit of history only because I think that matters. So if you're going into a position where you have people that's already been in place for 10 to 15, 20 years, and they've seen different managers come and go. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, they have this young Black girl who's telling them what to do, especially if you're younger than them. I think that makes a difference, and that's actually something similar I had going on today, where I was challenged by someone who's been working at the property for 30 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and they think because you're
Yeah.
younger that you don't know any better.
Well, you don't.
Shut up, Mark.
And that's true. But that's true. And the thing is, when you walk into my office, there's a wall of fame. My 2 degrees, everything. And the people are like, what, dang. And I'm like, well, I gotta let you know who I am because all you see is the you.
Ooh, okay, but are
All
you
you
coming
see
across as bragging though? Like, does your accolades
no.
really prove that you can do the job?
It's a subtle thing, right? I think it's like you have to sometimes remind people who they're dealing with because
Mhm.
they will challenge you.
I mean, that's not going to
And
stop
so
them
it's
though
like,
from challenging you though.
no, it's not. But like attorneys, they have their degrees up. Why shouldn't I put mine up?
Okay.
So people are like, oh, you have this, and I'm like, yeah, and actually, and so there's the 5.
Well, that makes sense in your field. That makes a whole lot of sense because when you work in a field where people are highly educated, that's all they respect. So yeah, you better put them up on the wall. Seriously.
Yeah.
And people become snobs about that. I don't understand it, but yeah, you have to do what you have to do. So I want to thank you for calling in, Jenna. And again, I'm
Yeah,
going to
that
invite
was
you to
good
call back if
point.
you have anything else you want to say. Now, the
right.
moral of the story from your call basically was all your life you had to fight, right?
Oh my
What?
God, Jenna.
All your life you had to fight, like Oprah.
No, all my life I've been light-skinned and I had to fight.
Oh
Just to
Lord.
get out.
Okay, all right, baby. All right. Thanks for
That
calling.
was funny.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay, there's something I really want to talk about, and I've been trying to get to it, but you keep going, Tiana.
No,
I'm gonna
we
let
got
you.
callers. Callers are
No.
calling.
You didn't want to move on from this thing about the
Well, it's already too late now.
It's too late.
Yeah,
You
because I
had a
want to
thought?
talk about the attire again and people who
I
going
mean, how long you want to talk about attire,
Because
man?
it's a problem in the workplace
For women or men?
for both men and women.
I think it's pretty straightforward for men,
No, it's not.
depending on what line of
Have
work
you
you're
ever
in.
had to interview somebody?
No,
Okay.
not really.
See, that's the thing. I've when you're in a position where you have to interview people, men don't always show up properly dressed in an interview.
For an interview? Please tell me through this. Walk me through this. What do men have on in the interview?
Well, from the industry that I come from, you wear a suit.
Right.
I've seen t-shirts and jeans. I've seen
To do what?
khaki
For-
for
what-
an interview
What are they applying for?
for a office position.
Okay.
And regardless if you were applying for a job outside of work, I mean, if you are an outside worker, you don't show up in your street clothes. If anything, you show up in your uniform clothes or you show up in a suit.
Okay.
But not like you just rolled off the bed or you just went to go see the football game or something.
You're right about that. There's a major disconnect there. I don't know, but that speaks a lot to who you'd be getting. So I don't like to make judgments and judge a book by its cover. So, but in that case, you pretty much don't have any choice but to. They better have a story attached with their dress.
I don't think you even get to ask the question. I don't know if anybody will ever really ask the question as to why you showed up looking like that.
I think you should. I think since you interview people and you see someone like that, you should ask that question just to train them. Because obviously you're not going to consider them after
Right.
that. But just to let them know that, look, because
They may
some-
not know no better.
man, yeah, these are things supposed to be taught at home. Just like you don't go to look for a job with your friend. You don't carry him to look for a job. You know, tell him how to dress, basically. So look, man, just to let you know, in future for any interview, you got at least wear a shirt and a tie. Young man, are they younger than you?
Older.
Older than you?
I've
and doing
seen
that?
both. I've seen both. I've seen young and old.
All right, man. Well, I want to talk about something that interests me. That doesn't interest me. Because if it's an old man doing that, you
I'm
can't tell him
telling
nothing.
you,
What you
workplace
gonna tell him?
etiquette people don't know. No, it's a
He
lot
might
of
be
people
coming from a
just
hard
just
time though, but you know, you can't really tell
Everybody
him
got
nothing.
one good
I want to talk about workplace etiquette as far as relationships because this
Okay.
interests me. Love it. First of all, what is it?
What is what?
What is workplace etiquette as far as relationship goes?
It depends. It depends on where you work for. I worked for a company where we actually had to sign a part of our hiring packet, a clause that said that the subordinate could not fraternize with their direct manager. We had to sign something. that
Oh
actually
man,
said
there
that.
goes the
So it
idea of
depends on the
screwing your way
company.
to the top, right?
It depends. It depends on the company. We actually had to sign that form. So basically, I couldn't. If my manager was a man or vice versa, I could not have a type of relationship with him.
But sometimes you just throw all caution to the window, right?
Sometimes.
You'd have ripped that damn paper up. If it was the right person. It'd have been a secret, right? A little workplace guilty pleasure thing.
So
Lunch break.
Do workplace relationships remain a secret? Because a lot of times they don't remain a secret.
Well, people ain't doing them right. I mean, if it's a serious relationship.
I mean,
The reason why this interests me, let me.
somebody call.
Mhm.
You can't even get your thought out, Mark.
Good evening.
Hello.
What's up, Mark? It's
What-
me again.
Oh, what's up? This is Danny. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm laughing because you guys talk about workplace. It's a real quick story.
Yes, sir.
Just like you worked at Baker's, I worked at Last Stop.
Okay. Okay.
PG Plaza.
Mm.
Everybody knows I
What-
always got the baddest females in the store.
Last stop? Wait,
Sale code.
you worked at the last stop?
Yeah.
My man used to own that joint, I believe. You know Lanier?
Yeah, I know Lynette.
Yeah, that's my man. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
Small world.
Yeah.
But I was a manager there, an employee, and she and I had a relationship.
Right.
Workplace etiquette. Things kind of transpired and stuff. I shouldn't be telling the story, but oh well. Things transpired, but we also kept it very professional. And this is that saying, you don't piss where you sleep. That's where I messed up because I ended up getting burned. Not literally, but getting
Well,
the short end of the stick.
Danny, I believe first of all, there's no
But
such
how old?
thing.
How
as-
old were you though? You guys weren't very old, right?
I was in my 20s when all this happened.
Okay, but he said we tried to keep it professional.
And
There's
how old
no
was she,
such
though?
thing as keeping it professional.
She was in her 20s.
Okay. I mean, still kind of young though, you know.
Yeah, still kind of young. You know, you don't know any better, but at the same time, we kept it professional. You know, she did her thing. She flirted. Got her money, and so forth. I did the same thing. But at the end of the day, we left work. It was boyfriend girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
But make a long story short, I ended up leaving the store, quitting the job. She got mad at me about some stuff, and she basically slept with damn near everybody that I knew that I was cool with.
Yeah, you did a good job by leaving her alone.
So, but that workplace etiquette it goes back to what I just said. Don't piss where you sleep,
Okay.
because you're going to get in trouble. It's going to backfire on you some way, shape.
So,
No
Danny,
way.
you are completely against workplace relationships.
No, I'm not. I'm not completely against it, but
Just move my bag.
you just gotta know how you gotta know how to carry. You gotta be an adult. You gotta be mature enough to carry it.
Thank you. That's the point I'm gonna make eventually, but I guess you got there before I even started making that joint.
And I
But,
completely
Mark,
disagree.
But you
I-
have to.
Now that's good because it really, really bothers me. Thanks for
Yeah,
calling it,
go
Danny,
ahead.
though.
All right, no doubt.
All right. It really bothers me because I hear a lot of women. I think a lot of women, successful women, whatever successful means, box themselves in, right? Into these corners. I think women are prisoners of their own opinions and thoughts, right? And you spend so much time at work, right? And then they'll tell themselves they would never mess with someone that they work with. And when I say work with, I'm not saying even in the office, because a lot of stuff a lot of community, you work outside of the office, you might have a business relationship with amongst other offices or whatever, someone who works for, and they don't want to cross these lines. And if you spend more, like a third of your time, third of your wake hours during the week at work, and you're gonna totally cross out that because of the work thing, so many of them are by themselves. You trying to tell me you're not old enough and mature enough that you could have a relationship, which 99% of them end up not working. We know that going in, right? If you eventually get married, all the other ones ain't work, right?
But it's hard for me to follow.
Get out of your limbic system.
It sounds
Because
like
you're
it's the
emotional.
woman's fault. If
A lot of
the-
times
if
it
the
is.
work, nah,
Man, look,
no,
look,
no,
listen,
no,
listen,
no.
listen.
Unfortunately, you can't tell me this because I actually my longest relationship was with someone that I worked with.
Okay.
And the
You messed that up.
relationship was ruined because of him.
Okay.
He was the emotional one. He was the one.
Hold on, sweetheart.
What?
Y'all actually got into a relationship though.
In a real relationship.
Okay, I'm talking about people setting up the borders so they can't get into one.
Oh well, that's two different things then.
Yeah,
That's-
and who changed it?
Feelings changed.
No.
I don't think it's a who.
No. I was
don't think
talking
it's a
about one
who.
thing,
I think it's
and
who.
you introduced the other thing.
Because I didn't think you was trying to show a difference between the two. That's not
I
what
was.
I was hearing.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
That ain't where
Yeah,
you
no,
was
no.
going.
No,
Whatever.
I actually was going. I thought I set
Whatever.
it up, but it's okay.
I
No,
think-
this is a Tiana Griffin show anyway. Go ahead.
Whatever.
No, go ahead. Say what you gonna say.
No.
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 Now you want to get quiet?
Yep, I am.
Okay, so what is the etiquette? And I need ladies to call in if you have a chance. Call them. If you're within a workspace, what would be the appropriate way? First of all, would you do it? And what would be the appropriate way for a guy to approach you? Because, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little workplace romance. I don't think so. I know a lot of companies frown against it, but I think you're asking people. It's like asking a Catholic priest not to have sex. That's why they diddle little boys.
I think relationships at work can be dangerous, especially if
They can
it
be.
can cause problems.
They
I've
can be
seen it.
dangerous.
I've seen it. I've seen people lose their jobs because of
Of
it.
course.
You know what I mean?
But you're
So,
foolish if you allow that to lose your job, to take away your
feelings. People
livelihood.
catch feelings, and then all the professionalism goes out the window.
Look, man, I don't. Look. Okay, can you imagine yourself? Like, we're gonna do this scenario here.
Hmm.
Can you imagine yourself working this close to me for 40 hours a week?
I could imagine myself working this close to
So if you work this close to me,
hmm
by the end of the third month, you'd be
you would
madly
get
in
on
love.
my goddamn
love with
no,
me.
you would get on
You'd be
my
in love with me.
last.
You'd be in love
You
with me.
would
You know
get
what you would
on
do?
my
You know what you would do? I'm gonna tell you how it works at work,
Nope,
right? I
you
know
would
how
get
it
on
works.
my
I
last
know how
nerve.
I know how
I
it
would
works.
walk around the whole building just so I wouldn't have to walk past your cubicle.
Okay, you're right about that. Okay, maybe you would do that. Maybe you would do that. But what you probably also would do
What would
when
I
you
do?
at home when you get dressed, you'd be thinking about me,
Whatever.
right? You'd be like, "There's no way in
You
this
give
joint I'm gonna
yourself
kill
way
him
too
today."
much credit.
What?
You tripping. You tripping.
Okay, I'm
You
saying me,
tripping.
but any guy that you
I
Listen,
know.
a lot of guys
it takes
at
a
work-
special guy at work for you to fall for him. And you work with a lot of men, and every man.
you're gonna
ain't-
see the person at work more than you see your mate awake.
That don't mean you want him or like him.
I'm
First
just
of all,
saying it's easy.
I work
What I'm
in
saying
a-
is kind of natural though. Is what I'm
No,
the point
it's
I'm trying to
not.
make.
Not
It
in
can
the
be.
not in the industry
It
that I
can
work
be.
in. Nope.
What industry do you work in?
We ain't
But
gotta
can I
say
ask
that.
You
No,
said
we're
that like
not gonna
3
say
times.
because I work with a lot of blue collar men, and a lot of them aren't really that attractive.
Because they've been working with their hands all day. Let them go home and
No,
take a shower.
no.
They can't clean up for you.
I
At least
like
you-
blue
at
collar men.
least-
No,
at
no,
least
no,
you know
no.
they gon-
no.
at least you
but
know they
I
can
see
look
them
better.
in their rawest form at work.
That's
you know
the
what
that's
I
the
mean?
worst they're ever gonna look.
And it's probably no. It's
That's like when you
no.
meet a girl at the gas station and she got a baseball cap on and she still look cute with the gray sweats and you can see the outline of her butt. And
Because
be
you
like,
already
hey, you know what?
looked at
No, but
sex
what
when
you
looked at
but
her.
what you say is you say, you know what? This is she can look better too. She already cute.
You
can see the-
already thought
you
she
can
was
see the little
sexy because
hairs
you see her butt
matted
print
down
through her
in the back.
sweatpants.
Say what?
What's matted down the back of her neck?
Her hair. But you know that if she ever went home after you get the number, right?
She gonna brush her hair.
She gonna come out and she gonna look good. She ain't had no makeup on, you know. So you seeing the guys at their absolute worst. Once
But
they clean up and get the dirt from
put
underneath
this
their
way, I
nails.
used to tell my years after my relationship from work, I told myself I would never do it again. But I have since then changed my mind.
Who
I
is he?
am not completely
Who is he?
nobody.
Who is
Honestly,
he?
nobody. It's nobody. But I do understand. I do. Nobody.
You can
I
only
promise.
consider. Hey, look, somebody made you
No,
change that joint.
No, because I do understand that you spend a lot of time with people you work with, and
Right.
relationships can happen.
It can happen.
You
One day
know,
you're gonna look at
so-
him differently. I mean, we do have the term work wife and work husband, right?
I mean, because I get treated. I've always been spoiled at work.
Mhm.
I've always
at work.
been spoiled at work.
I'm feeling like it's more than
Actually,
work.
well, yeah, no.
I'm feeling like it's more than work.
I'm typically spoiled at work by guys at work. That's only because I spoil them in return. So
So-
I have good relationships at work.
So a guy got to work with you to get spoiled.
I didn't say that, but he got to work.
You the only one that found that funny. I don't find that shit funny. No, I just need to know the workplace etiquette.
I don't.
I do because it's just
Do-
foolish.
So, do you believe there should be a workplace etiquette as far as relationships?
I look. I'm not exactly an anarchist, but I'm not big on rules, man. Because like that's so.
But relationships can mess up the office environment.
But why not? Like we're old enough. You can't withstand a relationship.
I know there's some men that can't.
Oh boy. There's some men that can't, of
Mhm.
course, and there's some women that can't, of course.
Right.
But if we were gonna do For the Love of Tiana, like you're gonna have to take a shot at it, right?
Okay.
If it's worth it, if they won you over to that, because I don't think you just do it because they're cute. You know what I'm saying? After a while, you take a liking to the person, and they win you over. You get to see them. You eat with each other every day. You know, and you just think you're friends. And then after a while, you take
So
an
let
interest.
me
You
ask
see
you a
what he's
question.
about. Yeah.
So, do you think the term work husband or work wife is a legitimate term? Because I've been hearing that a lot.
Legitimate?
Lately.
What do you mean? Like it's
I don't know. I've been hearing it a lot lately. Like, people have work husbands and work wives.
you're asking me if it's legitimate. I don't know. I mean, people use it. I mean, it's not illegitimate. Why do you not?
I've never.
Let me say, like, I'm starting to learn on this show. Nothing applies to Tiana.
What do you mean?
No matter what goes on. Hey, John, would you agree? No matter. Hey, D. Whatever goes on in the world, right? It doesn't apply to Tiana, though, right? You have your own spin, and it purely makes sense to you, which is good for you, I guess. But the work wife and
That makes sense to a lot of people. It's just it just doesn't make sense to the two of you.
yeah, the friend zone. Let's use the friend zone example. Do we want to go there?
Okay, now I understand what friend zone means. Apparently I didn't have the full understanding of what that meant.
Okay, so apparently work.
Prime example.
Okay, listen.
Whatever.
Apparently work wife is a term because I found a definition,
I
right?
loved it.
It's a phrase, mostly in American English, referring to a coworker, usually of the opposite sex, with whom one shares a special relationship, having bonds similar to those of a marriage.
So
that's-
what type of bond would you have at work that's similar to marriage?
I don't know. Maybe you work for a bitchy boss, and you guys
Whatever.
complain to each other.
Whatever.
Maybe you cry on each other's shoulder for how she treats you guys. I don't know.
Whatever.
What? Okay, so look, I got a story. This didn't happen to me. A good friend of mine, no longer, but we were good friends. He had a live-in girlfriend, right? And they had 2 kids. Her boss and her were close, male boss, right? So they used to eat lunch together and do all this stuff. She was his assistant, and he would call her at work at lunch and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm here." And then she'd pass the phone to him. He was over dude's house drinking wine with his wife. Her boss was married, so him and his girl, the boss and his wife, would go out and have dinner, have game nights and everything. After a while, they started screwing and humping. Work wife turned into he left his wife for her, for her, and she left him for what's her name. All because that close relationship. And you know what kept happening? As her boss and she was his assistant, he would be leaning over her shoulder, right? Over the cubicle and whispering sweet nothing. And one day, she just melted.
Well, I mean, he had a lot of shit to complain about. He was probably coming to work every day complaining about his wife, how he's so unhappy. You know how married men do. Oh, my wife ain't doing this. Oh, my wife ain't doing that. Blah, blah, blah. Cry, cry, cry. And so she fell for it.
Is that what married men do?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, Tiana. Where do you work? Who do you hang around? You don't have anything good to say about
I'm just playing.
So have we established that there's no workplace etiquette?
Apparently not, because people just do whatever the hell they want to do.
So you're against that?
Against what? Workplace etiquette?
No. I'm talking about for relationships purely.
I told you I'm not. I told you there was a time where I said, "Oh my God, I'll never do it again." But I know how easy. In fact, I heard that people in uniform have the biggest.
What, infidelity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. People in uniform because they spend so much time together. Military, police, firefighters, like all of them, even Metro.
is the metro from personal experience? There's something.
They got me personal experience.
I'm asking because you said even Metro. Was that in the study? Did they have a Metro?
I know a couple of.
Do they have a Metro infidelity
I know
study?
a couple of Metro guys that ain't shit.
Yeah,
but, you know.
I'm asking you. No, I asked you a specific question. Was there a Metro? Because you know Metro got a lot. You mean to tell me the reason why they keep single tracking on the Metro is because of all the infidelity going on?
Yeah, everybody fucking around and they doing their job.
Jesus Christ, Tiana. I'm sorry, Lord. I don't want to take your name. I just don't know, man. Listen, the man that you end up with.
Oh my God! Why do we have to always talk about the man that I'll end up with?
Because I want to build him for you because
he's gonna be happy with me.
You think so?
I know so.
You know what? You'll be like a pet to him or something. You know, just this
What
little
do you
person you
mean?
keep in a cage and pet every now and again.
No.
Because he can't let you out, man. Because there's something wrong with you for sure. There is something very wrong. So is that all you want to touch on as far as etiquette, workplace etiquette? Because
we touched on everything, relationships. Yeah.
Because we got a few minutes left in the show. So if nobody wants to call in and please talk Tiana off this ledge or help me out, make me feel a little bit better.
Whatever.
We can talk about we can go back to your attire thing. I want to revisit to how we used to get girls back in because I got a minute now, so we can do this because I got interrupted when I started last time. So what we used to do at Baker's, right? It was like 3 dudes that worked on the sales floor. So we had to get dressed up. So you wear your slacks and you don't necessarily wear no underwear, right?
I never knew men walking around with no drawers on under their slacks.
Hey, look, when you're in PG,
I'm about
PG
to start
Plaza,
looking. I'm about to start paying attention more.
Tiana, now you're gonna stop paying. You
I
don't
never
look now.
I didn't know men free ball or like
A lot,
that.
actually. I mean, I don't free ball. I mean, but that was back then. You know, that was when you got to understand the element of the PG Plaza Bakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to also work in the one in Wheaton and a little bit of time in Montgomery Mall. The demographics are very different. But when you're for each of those 3 places, but when you're in the PG Plaza one, I mean, you get the best of the worst that come through that joint. And they're aggressive. So what you're trying to do is make it so you don't have to work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to have to pick out the one that is for you is going to find you. So by you letting it hang to the left a little bit, they're going to say whatever they have to say or point it out.
Never knew men did that.
Yeah. And it used to be like,
so all this long time, I could have had
as soon as the first of the month came, it'd be like opening the gates at the running of the bulls. All the women come in there, buy the clothes, buy the shoes up. Keep in mind, Baker's shoes are cheap.
Yeah, we're cheap.
Right? Real cheap, right? And then bring them back 2 days later after they wore them to the club and talk about the joint didn't work and they never wore them outside. But in order for you to take the exchange, there had to be an exchange because technically they couldn't wear them outside. When you got bubble gum on your heel, you have to come off a little something. See what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm gonna tell you how good the job was. We only made $5.50 an hour, and if I didn't get fired, I probably still would have been working there. $5.50 an hour. The perks were amazing. But then again, if I worked there, I probably would end up with a tattoo on my neck if I stayed a little bit longer, because that apparently became the thing. So If there's nothing, why
So
you
the
look at me like
moral
that?
of your story is I need to start paying attention to men in their slides to see if they're hanging it to the left or to the right. Because I
That
wasn't
actually-
paying attention before.
Actually, the story was for filler. There was no moral. That
There's
wasn't
no
the moral, but
moral.
you're gonna do it anyway. Though I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you now.
I could have had some guys like offering me something. I wasn't even paying attention.
But I tell you
Wow.
what, that makes you not much. You're not very ladylike.
I just don't. I never. I think it's rude.
No,
to
I
look,
said that wrong. Let me take it back.
It's rude to look directly at the crotch.
When
Yes, that's kind of rude. Like it's no more rude than a man looking directly at a woman's breast. It's a little rude.
How's
Like,
that
you don't
rude?
stare. You peek, but you don't stare.
let me tell you something.
Okay.
The power of that.
Mhm.
You can hypnotize people when something go like this.
Oh.
So if they look long enough, you got 'em right where they want it.
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is talk softly, and then I don't know. Look, I think that does it for the show because I'm not gonna drag this torture out with Tiana one more bit longer. We're gonna end a few more minutes early, but one thing we're gonna do, and I want to introduce this. We want to make one more mention of the homeless event.
Yes.
This Saturday, Franklin Park, John, 3 p.m. It's gonna be, from what I hear, a perfect day. So get out there and help if you can. Those of you who aren't probably going to do anything else on Saturday, go out there and just, I mean, it's the same as socializing. We have plenty of people out there. What I want to do, and we're going to do this next week because something happened to me earlier this week that made me talk to Tiana about this. Next week's show, I'm giving you the topic right now. I need people to formulate their opinions and call in because Tiana's not enough, and I don't think you want her to explain this. We're going to delve into this strong woman thing. What makes a woman strong? Because I hear this entirely too much. What makes a woman strong, and why do you feel the need to identify or to call yourself strong? So we'll be doing that next week. And I would like to hear some good answers because from what I hear in my everyday life, doesn't really hold up, but y'all still adhere to it. So that is going to do it for this week's edition of He Say,
She Say.
I'm Mark.
I am Tiana.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Good night.